Sandra, let's bring in retired Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg. He's on the phone with us, former National Security Advisor to former Vice President Pence, also a Fox News contributor. And the news that we're following at this hour, General, is, of course, reports. And the Pentagon says it's aware of the reports, but cannot corroborate them. That a couple of missiles that were fired by Russia at Ukraine somehow strayed into Polish airspace, landed in Poland, killed a couple of people on the ground. The Polish prime minister has called an urgent meeting of his Committee for National Security and Defense Affairs. What's your read on this? Clearly, this is a serious development, but how serious?
Yeah, John, look, this is how wars start, and they start through miscalculations. There's no such thing as a stray artillery round. I mean, there was clearly they knew where the target was. Clearly they were shooting out there. You know, when you're in artillery, you always create a buffer. You make sure that you don't have things like this happen. And when you start to shoot across a border, that is, if it's not deliberate, it's close to being deliberate. And I think the Pentagon is being smart by taking a knee. In other words, making sure they've got all the information right. Because generally first reports are wrong, not that there was an artillery strike, but that what caused it, what's happened. Because I've actually seen that happen. We saw that happen in Iran as an example, where when they shot down that drone, we found out later it was in a general officer of the Republican Guards basically made a huge mistake, and he shot down on it. At that time, when Soleimani was still alive, he wasn't really happy about it. But I think this is serious. And this is one that NATO and Poland is going to have to react to make sure that Putin knows it. It's very serious. You cannot do something like this, and there'll be something in store if you do it again. What I mean by something in store is they're probably pretty sure where those missiles came from, because they've got the ability to track when the other side, when the Russians shoot, where it came from. And if it happens again, or it happens again, they're going to lose that battery. They're going to lose that missile site. And just tell them very clearly, we're not going to tolerate that. It comes from Russia or anywhere else on the enclaves that are there. They're just not going to, tolerate it. And they have to make sure that message comes across very clearly to Putin.
So, and perhaps that message will come sooner than later, General. Thanks for joining us. Just following along the news here, there seems to be some market reaction with the euro dropping against the U.S. dollar on these reports. The Pentagon just said that it cannot corroborate these reports of the two Russian missiles crossing into Poland at this time. Perhaps we'll get an update from the Pentagon again here shortly. But the Polish government, and this just is hitting the wires, is set to hold this meeting, and now we know when. That is expected top of the hour, 3 o'clock Eastern time. So perhaps this is when they will send that strong message that you are suggesting needs to be made immediately, General.
Well, Sandra, I think they need to. I think it means, look, this war's been going on long enough. We all know who the aggressor is, and that's Russia. You can't sit back and not respond to this, at the very least diplomatically, and you just basically tell them you're not going to tolerate this. The next time you do something like this, or something like this happens, or even come close to it, you're going to lose that missile battery. You want to fight NATO? Fine, we'll fight NATO. But that's what I mean by war start by miscalculation. Part of the miscalculation is you do nothing. You don't respond. You have to respond. Poland has to respond, and NATO has to respond, at the very least, diplomatically, and tell the Russians that they're way out of line on it.
All right, General, thank you very much for your thoughts, and we appreciate you being with us. We'll keep on following this and see where it goes from here. We'll talk to you again soon.